All right, this is Cultured Unmasked. I'm Madison Hawthorne with Golden Tree Publishing, and I'm here with Newman. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself real quick?
Yes, sir. I am a artist, book writer, children's book, and doing a lot of graphic design things, photography. But you guys can find me exclusively on Instagram until the places partner up with me for some money. But you can find me on Instagram at cnewman216. Again, that's at cnewman216. And I'm going to pass this beat over to Ray's Art.
What's the deal, y'all? My name is Ray, my youngblood, aka Ray's Art. I am a digital freelance illustrator. You can find me on Instagram at Rays_arts, RAIZ_ARTS. My commissions are open, and if you're looking to get your ideas brought to life, I'm the guy to do it.
Yes, sir.
Cool. I guess we'll get right into it. Anything new since last week that y'all saw or checked out?
I'll go ahead. I watched that New Mutant movie.
Oh, you did?
And
it wasn't not good.
I gave money. It was only $5. As soon as I saw the price for the rental, I should have knew something was up. So I gave it up. Whatever. It was the worst thing I saw, and it had so much potential. And I think it was only like in 2 settings. So if you're gonna have an action movie in 2 settings, your plot needs to be flawless. Like, everything needs to be flawless. I fell asleep on it 2 times. I woke up finally, finished it, then came back and watched it the whole way through, and I should have just stayed asleep, man. It was, dang. It was bad, man. Like, and just like I said, the storyline, the setting, it almost felt like DC made it. It was bad. But then I watched.
Go ahead. Kind of messed it up, though. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes, like COVID messed some movies up. Like people aren't able to do exactly what they want to do because COVID is holding them back.
Yeah. It seemed like it had a great cast, but then it was like a straight to sci-fi movie plot. And like, you know what I'm saying? Production was cool. The graphics were cool. Those going to be on point. But they should have probably waited to put it out. I even went and looked at critics' review after that, and I never do that. And the critics' review and all types of things, they were all like at 3s and stuff, and I was just like, man, I feel bad because it has potential, like their powers, and I don't know, it was bad. But then, luckily, I watched something that was great to counteract that. Out of 10 episodes, I'm 8 through Lovecraft Country.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty dope, man. That's pretty dope. So yeah, those are only new things I really got caught up on.
Cool, Ray.
I actually did a rewatch this past week of Gurren Lagann.
Okay.
And it's always a good time, man. It's always a good time. Just to kind of see that coming of age story once again. It's definitely well worth the rewatch. For anybody who's already seen it, and if you haven't seen it, give it a shot because it's great. It's definitely a mech anime, but it doesn't feel like a mech anime. Like, there's really good character development. Like I said, there's a really good coming of age story about 2 brothers who one of the brothers ends up having to pass the torch to the other. And it's about them growing up. It's great. Give it a shot. It's great action, really great one-liners. Definitely, it's a great series. Has anyone seen it?
Yeah, I never watched all of it, but because I wasn't a big fan of it. Not that it was bad. It just wasn't up my. I at the time this was like a long time ago too. This is not recent. So maybe I gotta give it another try. But yeah, I was like, it was just one of those things where I started watching it and then I just stopped and I never felt like going back to it. I guess that's
hey, I'm not gonna lie, it's extremely over the top. Like it's an over the top anime. But
I did the same with Air Gear. I don't know if you ever watch Air Gear. Like
I used to love Air Gear.
Yeah, I watched I was watching it and then I just like stopped and never went back. Never went back to read the manga or anything. And it's not like I didn't like it, but it was just one of those things where I wasn't compelled to finish. You know?
Mm-hmm. What about Tenjo Tenge? Have you ever seen that?
Nope. No, I never seen that.
It's by O Great 2, the creators of Air Gear. It's just straight action, like straight martial arts. Definitely in the manga, some of the best fight choreography I've ever seen. But the anime is pretty good too.
Okay.
Y'all be going through too much stuff, man. I can't see all this. Tell me something I gotta watch. Tell me one thing I gotta watch.
I can't really tell you one thing. I mean, I'll tell you this. I mean, you was watching it before me. I guess both of y'all. I finished The Mandalorian season 2. So I mean, we probably watched the whole thing in like 6 or 7 days, like all the episodes. There's only 16, and they're like 35 to 40 minutes long. But yeah, it's a dope series for sure.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, so man, Baby Yoda's name got spoiled for me. One of my favorite artists mentioned him on his Instagram, and I knew exactly what he was talking about as soon as he said it. Like, no!
So you ain't watch it yet?
Nah, not yet.
Okay.
I'm not a huge Star Wars guy, so
yeah, me neither.
I know that's like blasphemy in some circles.
I'm not a Star Wars guy, but I enjoyed that. You know what it is though? Like I'm not a Star Wars guy, but I guess when like, you know, Disney's been doing all those announcements with all their Marvel stuff that's coming out and all their Star Wars stuff that's coming out. I guess that's the thing. Like in many ways, it's like Star Wars and branding only. You know what I mean? Right. Like, yeah, like, you know, because it's the Star Wars. You know, the Star Wars has a whole galaxy, right? You could technically just make like Monk, the show Monk, but you could just set it in Star Wars. You know what I mean? And just have those elements to it, and it would really have nothing to do with Star Wars in a way. Like, just because it's an entire galaxy, right? Of just beings living their lives for the most part, right? And so that's kind of how I look at The Mandalorian, because like I said, I'm not a big Star Wars person either, but it's really, they basically just did Lone Wolf and Cub, which makes sense because, like I said, a lot of Westerns from back in the day were actually just kind of rip-offs of old samurai movies. So it's basically like a Western, but it's just in the Star Wars universe, and they tie in a lot of like canon and properties into it, mostly for the fans, because casual people aren't going to even know what's going on with that stuff. But it's basically a Western series. That's how you got to look at it. They could have easily just did that and made it Wyatt Earp or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the only reason I like it. I mean, you could call it whatever. It was good no matter what you called it. You know what I mean? But I'm in the same boat. It was a good series, even though it was Star Wars. I don't rock with Star Wars. But
yeah, it's on the list. It's just a little further down the list. Hey, y'all see that my show's getting canceled? My DuckTales is gone.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I don't got my ear to the DuckTales streets right now.
Listen, you gotta understand, all right? If you watched it, you will be sad too, because it's great. They just did a special. It's free on YouTube. So everybody, like, if you just watch just one episode, there's a free episode on YouTube. It's 45-minute special. It's a new Darkwing Duck that they tied into DuckTales. And it's great. Like, if you just watch that alone, you'll understand why it is a terrible marketing strategy for Disney to get rid of DuckTales so soon. I don't care if you're bringing back Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers next year. I mean, I'm grateful. What? Because you're doing it. Oh, yeah. They're bringing back Chip and Dale. But don't do DuckTales. DuckTales watch so that Chip and Dale can run. All right?
I'm going to tell you the only reason I cannot get into it because of the visuals. Like, I don't know. It just looks so, I'm not used to these new looking cartoons. I'm so used to what we call it, like the 2D, like, type things. They were all more rounded. These ones look square. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just couldn't get past the art, I guess.
Oh, man.
The graphics.
I don't know how to even like help you with that, man, because
personal preference, man. It's a personal preference.
It's great. Man, watch DuckTales.
I'm an old dude now.
Just watch that Darkwing Duck episode and get back to me. If you can
I'm gonna watch that episode. It'll
make my whole day.
I love Darkwing Duck, so I'm gonna definitely jump on that.
It's good. It's so good. So good.
But yeah, I mean that's basically all I've seen. You know, I've been wanting to see. I wanted to rent Tenet, but you can't rent it. You gotta buy it for $20, and I ain't buying nothing for $20.
Christopher Nolan ain't letting nobody have nothing, man.
Right, man. I don't care.
Yeah, I want to see that too, man.
No movie digitally for $20. You don't even get a DVD in a case with it. Just
right. Yeah, nah.
Not doing that.
But on that real quick, did y'all see in that stimulus bill that they had something about they're going to have like a maximum fine of 10 years if you like illegally stream or something like that?
No, that's crazy.
See that? I got to send you the article I found. That was like on CNN. That in this, man, y'all, like, you got to pay attention. Like, they just be putting bills out because the bill was like 5,000 pages. There's no need for a bill to be 5,000 pages, but they had little things in there. And one of them was if you're caught streaming, and this is, you know, it's not signed yet, it could possibly be taken out. I think it should be or will be taken out, but you got to pay attention to that stuff because they said, like, they're trying to make streaming illegal, and if you get caught streaming, you could get up to 10 years in prison. Now, my first thing is, why are you wasting your time on this dumb stuff trying to help companies real quick? Well, you know, in the pandemic, that's my first issue. But seriously, like, we gonna have a streaming police or something? You know what I mean? But I don't know how you can contain pirating. Man, I got to send you the article. I'm not the best at explaining stuff. That's why I'm not a teacher. But that's why I did say the article, and I have to send it to you guys. It's that's kind of hard though, because a lot of the stuff that you can get illegally can come from over in another country. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be hard to enforce, but I know, like, in my personal life, and I don't have anything against anybody that does, but I really do try to stream as legally as possible. Now, if it doesn't exist on any streaming platforms and I can't buy it, then you know, you got to do what you got to do. Allegedly, because I ain't confirming or denying nothing. But but I really do try to keep it as, you know, like, legal as possible. Like, even with my manga and stuff when I was younger, I would look online, but now I subscribe to the Shonen Jump app of this. It's really great too, super concise. We get their stuff soon as they get it in Japan, so I'm able to kind of like keep up with the Joneses that way and not to worry about spoilers. Yeah, but yeah, now I try to keep support the artists as much as I can, especially as an artist. And I'm trying to, like, I would hate for people to get my content illegally. I'm a small artist, so I could only imagine like bigger companies.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably something that like movie theaters and stuff were trying to, and production companies are probably, because like people can't go to the movies now, and they're like, how are we going to get money? You know what I mean? If we put it online, people are just going to steal it. So what are y'all going to do for us? And, they pay somebody to shake a politician's hand and get what they want in the bill.
It's all lobbying.
I mean, that's
it's all lobbying.
That's a whole nother topic. But
100%. But it's just interesting, like the world and how based off of what we talk about, your own work, and then how you get paid for it, because you can still get paid for it. If you're looking to get a buck from everybody, then like VCR should have been illegal. You know what I mean? There's just so many different things. You got to keep up with the time, so you got to understand, how to get money. But making like just trying to put jail time on something it's just like always extreme to me. You know what I mean? That's just my thing. It's like, why you always got to go to the extreme, man? Like putting someone in jail, like charge them. Just say like, all right, man, that was a $3.99 movie. Yeah, you found the line for free. We gonna make you pay double. Now it's $7. Come on, man. Jail time? I don't know. I'm just I don't know.
Just a guy.
I ain't gonna make this no political thing, man. No political podcast.
Sure.
No, I'm so tired of the politicians.
Going into a new realm.
Yeah, no, we gonna have this fun. This is fun. I'm just saying, be careful. Laws is gonna be in place because of the digital world now, and you gotta understand it. Yeah. But I didn't mean to take this to the wrong turn. I just wanted to throw some info out.
It's all good.
No, you're good.
We could get back on I guess to the main topic then.
Is the main topic James Harden? No, I'm just joking.
That's on the sports podcast. We get into that.
I was not going to be able to follow
James Harden. He's creating havoc.
Right. But I guess today we just wanted to talk a little bit about working with publishers. Like if you are a person, if you're trying to get published or you just got published or something like that, and just kind of what's involved with like your control over the stuff you're creating for someone once they publish your stuff. I think it's good to talk about that, because there's like, just things involved with it, just your control and release schedules and rights and things like that. So basically I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that. And I guess I'll kind of start a little bit, which is basically just saying like, most people I think know, like if they're doing indie stuff, they know like Image and independent, like these indie comic places, kind of how they work, which is basically you own all the rights to all your stuff. They're basically essentially just distribution, and they take a percentage of it, off the overhead or whatever, after, all their expenses are recouped, so basically, but even with that, people gotta understand that may mean that, you're in a situation where, let's say you get signed by Image or one of these, smaller press companies, Avatar or any of those, and you put your comic book out and you see like, oh, I sold 5,000 copies. But you sold 5,000 copies of, say, a 32-pager full color, and so you're looking for your check, but the reality is that 5,000 is all going to go to the expenses probably of printing and all of that stuff. And then also, you're probably not going to have a ton of say as to when it comes out. Basically, it's whenever they're ready to print it. So that's something to think about, too, because it's like you're not just going to see a bunch of money right away just because you got signed to a publisher, because they've got to handle, if they're handling the distribution and stuff, they're going to want to get their expenses reimbursed for that before, they start paying you. And then,
right.
That's just something to think about. I don't know, Ray, if you got anything to add to that, or Newman, because it's kind of like that in almost any industry. It can be books, music, all those avenues of entertainment, including movies, is kind of similar. So that's kind of what I think people can look at as far as just if you initially get signed to a small publisher. And people also have to understand too that they're expecting you to do a lot of your own marketing. And any publisher will tell you, and I mean, it's no different than, I guess, big companies too will tell you that the people who spend the most time marketing their own stuff outside of the company do the best. That's big companies and small companies. So there's that aspect too. So don't think that like a smaller company is going to have all this money to just like throw at your marketing campaign.
Yeah. I don't know, man, because that's the reason why I stayed like independent and didn't try to go to a publisher, or like go to a movie theater. I know my brother wrote a screenplay one day about, years ago, probably 20 years ago, about a storm movie, and he sent it to a movie theater, like a studio. They sent it back unopened, like with like and then a letter followed, like, yeah, we can't open this in case,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You try to sue us to say we took your idea, whatnot. But then, like you said, when you break down where that money goes to and what you're expected to do, you got to realize, okay, is it a partnership or is it an employee? Like, what's your role? What's your role as that creator? Where's the money split? There's owning the publishing, there's owning that illustration, there's so many things that go into it, man. And it's I always felt like, man, let me do this myself. It might take a long time, but at least I know where it's all at together, because your publishing can be with another company. The illustration could be owned by another company. It's so crazy and diluted. So like when you create something, if you do get picked up by an agent, all you know is this person is going to work for me to get signed on to somebody, get like they're going to help me find where to go. They're like almost a middleman. But then, like you said, when you break down that money, you think you're going to be a millionaire or something, but you still got to pay for the print. You got to pay for the, I don't know. There's so many different avenues where that money goes. And so, like, it's great to just be able to create stuff. But if you really want to go somewhere with it, you got to do a lot of research on the front hand in it. And it's like, I think you said it before, you almost got to get a mentor so someone can walk you through and let you know what to expect, let you know the downfalls, but the positives too. It's not always negative, man. You don't get a lot of positives from it. So that's me. I was just like, I just want to control all my stuff until the time where I might want to sell everything and just get that big bread, possibly. But as of now, because I want to control everything of how it's distributed. I'm making up stuff. How I don't want you to change my story. I don't want you to change my pictures. I'm trying to partner with, and I even talked to Ray about possibly doing like the illustration for my books where on the front end, I'll give you money. But if this blows up, I'm not going to even just give you more money. I'm going to bring you along for other books I'm going to write. You know, and I'm going to have that with all my artists or all, you know what I'm saying, people who create with me. If you gave me an idea, I'm going to say that idea help, and might help ignite this book's success. So I'm going to give you money. I'm going to bring you along to help me create other things. You know what I'm saying? So I also want to build partnerships with other people who might not already be in the game, and let's do this together. Let's create our own thing, and let's build up, almost start our own publishing company, or not. It doesn't even have to go that, you know, say direct, but you got to really understand it, like the different avenues that you could go with getting your stuff out there, and even if that comes to like maybe getting a movie deal with one of your comics, Ray and Madison, you know, you got to understand, like, do I want to relinquish the rights? Do I want to just be on as an advisor? So you really got to understand that where you want, what you want from your project. Is it just the money? Do you want them to understand your story? So you kind of gotta feel that out in the beginning, if that makes sense. I know I was rambling.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense. So I do a lot of commissions, and a lot of times with bigger projects, I actually have to write a contract with the person that I'm doing business with to explain exactly what I want. So if I want X amount of money for the project plus 5% revenue for the next 2 years, I need that in writing so that, you know, like, if ever it blows up or even if it doesn't, my money is still given to me. I think that, you know, like a lot of times artists, especially like commission artists, when you're starting out, you're so excited to get hired that you jump at everything that's given to you, and all money ain't good money. But, you know, like, you try to jump at everything that's given to you. I actually saw there was a video by an animator. Her name is Cypher Den. She's on YouTube, and she got hired to do an animation that ended up she charged $200. And the person that wanted it, she wouldn't put them out there because it was like a big name person, wanted it in a really short amount of time. And she ended up taking the animation and blowing up with it. And that artist only got $200 from it. And yeah. So, like, you really need to make sure to know, like kind of what Newman said, know what you want, and don't be afraid to ask for it. You know, and if they're not willing to budge with you in a way that's reasonable, not like if you're asking for $20,000 and they're like, yeah, no, we can't do that, you might, you know, talk that down. But if they're trying to lowball you and you know that you're worth more, don't be afraid to walk away from a project. You know, just so yeah.
If you got a price, I mean, stick to your price, because if you accept something, and it's one thing if somebody's not upfront with you about what, like, you know, what the pay is going to be, how the work's going to be used, what your rights are to the work and all that. That's one thing, because, you know, then you can get a lawyer. but it's another thing if they tell you what it's going to be. It's, you know, if it's going to be a certain amount of money that they're going to be willing to pay, and then that's what they pay you, and they demand it in a certain amount of time, and you end up working really hard on it, but the agreement was you don't have any rights after that or anything, you can't really be too upset, because that was all laid out at the very beginning. So that's another thing too. And when you're working with publishers, they're going to do basically the same thing too. Like if somebody says, I want to work with you, but I want half, and then you say, okay, because you feel like it's an end, and then they start taking half and you're upset. Well, I mean, it's not like they didn't say they didn't want half at the very beginning. You know what I mean? Like, that's something to think about as well. So, like, and I guess that kind of segues right into, like, you have to look at it kind of like the more, like, effort and money that they may give you for a project, the less you're probably going to have ownership of your work, right? So, like, if you're complete indie and you're doing self-publishing and all that, then you own everything. You're in control of everything. It's all you. If you're writing prose and you get a deal with a big publisher, then they're probably, and they're going to offer you some type of advance or something like that. They're probably going to be taking a large percentage of, like, your book sales, or if you are lucky enough to be an artist or who always wanted to work for DC and Marvel, and you get hired, understand that you're just going to get paid by the page rate. You don't own anything.
Right.
Even if you create a character, which is, people talk about that all the time, which is, like, all these characters that were created by, say, like Jack Kirby and stuff, but they didn't have any real ownership or anything of it. So there's that too. And like, I mean, even for myself, for my company, for the most part, I'm like kind of like Marvel and DC, and that is like, I don't want my artist to bring a new character to my comic, because it's like, look, man, I can't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm holding the whole ownership of it. So if you create a character, and that, don't get me wrong, if somebody came to me with a character and I was like, oh, I got to have this, then I would happily have split some type of ownership, shared ownership with them. But there's that too. Like, there's that whole thing where it's like, if you're working with somebody, you got to know if things you create for them are yours or theirs, or both. Like Newman said earlier, is it going to be an employee? Are you an employee, or are you a partner? And if you're just getting paid and you don't see, and your pay isn't based on the revenue, then you're an employee. Right. And so there's that part of it too. And you don't want to find yourself, especially if it's something you created that you're trying to bring to a publisher, you definitely want to pay attention to how much of what you've created the company wants, because you don't want to find yourself in a situation where, you're getting paid based on sales or whatever the metric may be, but the percentage is so small that you feel like you're an employee still, even though technically you have some type of ownership, right? And you hear musicians talk about that all the time. It's not really the same in the book industry, because generally, if you create a book with a character and it's yours and your name's on it, or a comic, like I said, unless you're like working for Marvel or something, you're going to have the rights to that character forever, unless you like sign it away on a licensing deal or something. But that's something to think about too. You don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're getting 10% and the company getting 90% of something. You created everything yourself.
Yeah. And those companies that you speak of, you definitely want to get your own lawyer and not that company's lawyer, because that company's lawyer is going to be looking out for the company's best interest a lot of the time. Like,
Absolutely.
Not always trying to get over on people. Yeah. So, like, definitely look in your area for lawyers. And a lot of the times, if you just get like the first hour is going to be free, and then you guys can work on rate, whether you hold like a fee to hold them, but definitely, try to shoot, man. I never even met lawyers while I was out and about, and found out friends were attorneys, and usually someone in their law firm, oh yeah, I know someone, so, they work with, whether it's contracts, whether it's copywritten, entertainment things. So most lawyers know of another lawyer. So definitely check with friends who are attorneys and things like that. See if they know anybody. just through word of mouth that way. But yeah, it's just definitely be careful with going through company's lawyers, because obviously that's the company's lawyer. They're going to be within their rights to watch out for their client. And I'm not saying they're doing right or wrong. I'm just saying they're looking out for their own client, which is that big corporation most of the time. So, yeah, just some friendly advice. Your friendly neighbor needs stuff. That's all I had on it.
Yeah. But yeah, basically, I mean, that's just something I think that's good to talk about when people are shopping, and I guess it's like you said, Newman, when your brother sent that in and they sent it back. That's the other thing too. Like if you're trying to get published, this is more for like if you're at that position where you're going to be published. But if you're trying to get published, you can't send stuff in to people that aren't accepting submissions, because they won't open them for, like Newman said, for legal reasons. They don't want to get sued or have you say that you stole their idea or anything like that. So that's definitely something to think about too. I know, because I feel like a lot of people too might be out there kind of, I mean, I would say it's like, I would say wasting their time, but at the same time they are maybe having some wasted effort sending in a whole bunch of stuff to people that aren't accepting submissions.
Right. And even whenever they are taking submissions, you really want to make sure to read through the fine print before you go out there, because like you said, you don't want to, like waste your effort on things where you're not following the exact deadlines, or you're not following the exact stringent rules. They might say, okay, well, we're taking submissions for a new Flash story, but they're not saying that they're necessarily taking new characters, or that they're taking, like a new universe out of it. So it's really important to basically just know, like, stay in your lane and know what the people are looking for. And like that's the same for commissions. That's the same for everything in the art world. You really want to make sure not to get too overly zealous when working with other people's ideas.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's I guess that's about all I got on it. You guys got anything else you want to add to it?
Do you guys have any resources? Like, I know we always say, be careful, do your research. Have you guys found any websites or any places to give you a little bit more info, almost like a step-by-step guide if you get an idea where to go? Or do we even have that to start? We should start that ourselves, man. Edit point.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of stuff on the internet that'll tell you how to go about creating and protecting your work. I mean, you just got to Google whatever you're doing, to be honest. There's definitely a lot of that stuff out there. I can't necessarily reference any one thing offhand, but but maybe I'll try to find some links to some stuff and put it up when I put it on the when I upload this on the YouTube. I can put some resource links in the description.
Yeah, like you said, there's nothing that you can really not Google and get information about, credited information.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's all I had, man. Good talk.
Cool.
Yeah, no, I think that's all I got as well.
Any shout outs y'all want to give today?
The comedian. I got hit to this channel, All Deaf, DEF, All Deaf, like all these stations, and I found them on YouTube. Now I follow him on Instagram. But the guy Kev on stage, he's starting his own app where a lot of creators are going to have a platform to release their things. So he started an app. So the guy Kev on stage, and I definitely want to give a shout out. Like that's almost like the Tyler Perry, man, creating an avenue for creators to go on there. And it's a lot of comedians and things like that, but it might open up avenues for other things. So we'll see where that leads to. But Kev on Stage, and the app is just Kev on Stage, app stores, and you can find him on Instagram and other social media platforms.
There's an artist, his name is Vaco Draws on Instagram. It's Vasil Asanov. He's only 22, but his art is absolutely phenomenal. It looks like he does a lot of fan art, but he's also making a webtoon as well. His webtoon is in his bio, but I haven't actually read it. But he's really, really, really good. His webtoon is called Higuma B. It looks like it's a bit of a horror type comic. It's dope. Give it a shot.
Oh, can you spell that? You say Baco?
Yeah, Vako Draws, Draws. Check him out. He's dope.
Okay. Oh, got it.
Cool. And I'm gonna give a shout out to basically there's a YouTube channel. It's called the Indie Comics Guy, and he was a independent creator, created a comic that was once published by Antarctic Press a long time ago. But you can just check out his YouTube page. He does a lot of interviews with like people running Kickstarters for comics, so you can get some insight into how they're running their Kickstarters and stuff like that. And then he also does some comic reviews every now and then for certain things. But you can check his channel out on YouTube. It's that Indie Comics Guy, so it's like THATINDY Comics Guy. But yeah, that's it. Ray, you want to tell people where they can find you at?
Yep. Again, my name is Raymond Youngblood, aka Ray's Arts. You can find me on Instagram at Rays_Arts, RAIZ_ARTS.
Newman?
C Newman 216 on Instagram. You can find me there. Please look for me. Follow me. Then unfollow me. Doesn't matter, but just at least look for me.
Cool. And I'm Madison Hawthorne with Golden Tree Publishing. You can find us handle Golden Tree Publishing on Facebook and Instagram. And you can check out our comics, Unicorn Melee and Eta, on GoldenTreePublishing.com. And until next time, peace.